C is a programming language that was developed in the early 1970s by a scientist named Dennis M. Ritchie, and it was developed at the famous Bell Laboratories. So using C language, we can develop the libraries and interpreters of other programming languages also. Also, every statement in C should end with a semicolon. C is a structured, high-level and machine-independent language. Machine-independent means the code that you write for one machine can be transferred to another machine also without any problem. Also, C is very powerful and widely used language. So let's see the basic structure of a C program. C program somewhat looks like this. This is the program which is used to add two numbers. So first is called as the documentation part or the comment part. A good program will always have comments in it so that even when another person is looking at your program, they will be able to understand what you have written. It is not necessary, but it is always better to include comments in your program. Next, we have header files. Header files actually include the definition of other functions inside it, and they have the extension .h to show that it is a header file. All C program consists of a main function, and that is written like this, and it is inside this that we write the main part of the program. So here we are going to add two numbers. So first of all, we need to declare few variables for that. So this is the declaration part. Then we will ask the user to input two numbers and also to read that numbers we use a sentence called as scanf. In the next statement, we can add these two numbers x and y and their value is transferred to the variable called sum. Next, we have to print that value. That is done using a printf statement, and this is an optional statement which we will see later. So after the declaration part, we have the execution part. So that is the four parts of a program. So this is how the sample input and output looks like. Here the user was prompted to enter two integer numbers. So that is shown over here. So the user entered two numbers 2 and 3. The program calculated sum is equal to x plus y and the output 5 is printed using this statement. So this is a basic idea. Let's see about each in much more detail. So as I told earlier, the documentation part or the comment part gives an introduction about the program. So if your comments are only single line, we can write that using two forward slashes. And if your program consists of multiple line comments, then you could include that within a forward slash, a star sign, and a star sign and forward slash. The comment comes in between that. Next we have the header file. Header files, as I told earlier, consist of definitions of functions that we use inside a particular file. For example, we have a header file called as math.h. This consists of functions like square root, etc. And the definition of the square root is given inside this math.h. So if we are using square root in our program, then we have to include math.h. And this header file is included into a program using this statement, that is #include. So #include, and within angular brackets we will write the name of the header file. This .h is an extension which shows that it is a header file. Next we have the main function. It is actually present in all the programs and it consists of two main parts. One is the declaration part where we will declare the various variables that we are going to use. For example, here A is a variable and it is of type integer. Here B is a variable which is of type character. That is, it can store one character and A can store one integer value. So these variable types have to be matched with their type and this is called as declaration, and this has to be done at the beginning of the program itself. Next we have the execution part. In the execution part we write what is the main function of that program. For example, to add two numbers or to find the factorial or any complex function that the program is intended to perform.